Hi, welcome to the Hyperfixated Fan. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Hunter.
And today we're revisiting kind of an old episode and like breaking it down a bit more. So today we're talking about Heaven Official's Blessing, Tian, Guan, Sifu, Arc 1.
Yeah, we told you it was going to take a lot more than just the one episode, and so this is our first more of a deep dive.
Yes. So for those of y'all who don't know, well, first of all, I'll just say, before you listen to this, go back and listen to our original
that'll give
TGCF
you the
episodes. Just listen to that one. But if you've graduated from that, then just, like, TGCF, Heaven Official's Blessing, is broken down into 5 arcs. Mm-hmm. So, like, this means, like, just major plot arcs, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it also is kind of broken up by timeline, because some of the arcs... Like, I think Arc 2 and Arc 4 are in the past.
Yeah, those are
I'm pretty sure.
The flashback ones.
The flashback ones, yeah. So that's how it's kind of broken up. And in the original, like, web novel, that was kind of how it was broken up into books. So you would say, like, book 1 through 5.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing now that they've, like, printed out those, like, printed out physical books, especially, like, the English editions or whatever, like, because those are not...
No,
they're not divided up on the same divisions as the arcs.
Yeah, there's more than 5 like, physical books.
6, 7, something like that.
At least 7.
Yeah, so those books are not the books that are referred to by like the book 4 arc or like
the arc. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I tend to refer to the physical books as volumes more. That makes sense for myself, and then like arcs are books to me.
Yeah, I think when you use the term books, there's enough questionability.
Yeah, there's
like, which one are we referring
to? You have to clarify it. So
I usually use arc. Yeah, like you said, for the older book.
Yes.
And then volume makes sense for books.
I like volume.
Physical books.
Yeah. But I think like the physical copy says like book 1, book 2, book whatever. So that they make it more confusing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Why are we doing this? Why confuse us all?
Yeah. So to kind of describe the delineation more, like Arc 1 is the first 2-ish books, which is the first 2 seasons.
Yes, if you watched the show, it's all the show that exists.
Yes, is Arc 1, and there are, spoiler alert, 5 arcs, so if one arc is 2 seasons, like, times that by 5, that's 10 seasons.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, I will get into this and actually, fuck it, I'm just gonna
talk about it now.
So this was something, I did a rewatch of both seasons, so...
MVP.
So, y'all, I had to rewatch the seasons because I just read a fanfic that is 1.3 million words long.
Which is insane. I ain't reading all that, Chief.
It's, first of all, so good. If you after this episode, I am gonna put it in the Discord for anyone who's interested. It's incredible. It also includes lore from MDZS, which that's gonna be a whole other episode.
Yeah,
Sushi,
we will talk about that.
Of Demonic Cultivation. It's
I have
another
a lot to say.
Series by the same author. Doesn't matter. But because I read that whole fic so recently, I was like, I need to watch the show again because I need to remember which lore is actually real.
Yeah.
Because I will get confused because I was involved in the world of this fic for so long.
Yeah.
But just in talking about like how long this show is gonna be, I was watching it in the second season. We get into the storyline of like Lan Chen Shou and Yong'an and the Gilded Banquet, and when we see Jillian in the coffin, we see him like the stake, we see the triple coffin, we also see not just once but twice the like blood, it's like a really cool intricate like design. It looks very aesthetic, but you see like blood flow up to the mask and like soak into the mask, which is very cool, and it looks very neat. And I remember I was still reading the series at the time when I watched it for the first time, and I was like, what is this? You've shown this to me twice. It looks very significant. What is this going to be? That's just something that comes back only in the extras. It's not in the in the main canon.
Yeah, because I was like, what? I don't know about this. It's just something
for one of the extras.
Okay.
But they show it twice, and it makes me wonder if they are like genuinely, provided they are allowed to, planning to get to the extras.
Wow. That would be like 11 seasons.
right, at least.
Yeah, that'd be great, but
also, like, some of the extras are, like, at least one of the extras in particular are thinking about, like, extremely horny, so, like...
I'm sure they'll have to censor it like they did The Untamed, so...
Yeah, but, like, that one is not one of the spicy ones. That was actually kind of an angsty one, because it does have, like, a blood-poisoned Fangjin mask. But,
interesting.
Jillian's just like, I want to make a present. What should I do? Here's an ugly belt that I made because I don't know how to sew. That's not good enough. Let me go find my old Fangjin mask. Oh no, it's cursed with blood poison.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart. We love him. But anyway, that was my... they brought it up twice. You see the visual twice in the show, and I thought that was, like, crazy.
They're giving you a little Easter egg.
Yeah, and I just remember, like, flipping my shit when I saw it the first time. I was like, what does this mean? Yeah. And I think, like, both you and, like, my friend Media were both just like, anyway, moving on. I was like, no! What does that mean?
I honestly, have not read any of the extras. I only know of them, like, from word of mouth and whatever, so I definitely did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's like, for the, like, main canon of the story, it means nothing.
Yeah.
It was just, like, a symbolic of, like, his torture and pain for 100 years buried in the dark.
And then that got, like, evil magic on it.
Yeah, pretty much. It just kind of in the same way, like, of Roye, just like it's just enough pain and suffering happened around it that it gained, like, a significant, like,
cursed object,
curse ability. I don't remember the exact details. It's been a hot minute, but I remember that just being like, oh, that's what that meant.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, that's not Arc 1 stuff, so
much happens in Arc 1,
a lot
honestly.
It sets up, like, endgame shit in Arc 1. Which is, like...
foreshadowing.
Like, it gives us every baddie from our endgame, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. At least mentioned.
Yeah, like, because it gives us, we meet Xuanji.
Yep.
On Mount
she comes back.
Yujun.
Mm-hmm.
We get, we hear Kokuo singing.
Yeah, we do hear him.
We don't realize that it's a singing evil fetus.
We get his mom, I think, at some point.
We do.
Yeah.
She's there.
When Jillian goes to the ghost city.
Yeah, Jillian tries to, like, seduce him to God,
I can't believe they put that in the show. I'm so glad they did.
Love it. And Jillian's like, oh, sorry, I can't get it up. It's medical. And she's like, okay. It's so funny. Like, in the book, they, like, make a point. He's like, I've used this excuse multiple times in my 800 years just to, like, get out of awkward spots. And I'm like, I feel like there's many other ways to get out of awkward spots, but I love that this is your go-to.
But I think that just shows, like, about his character. Like, he's been broken down so much, he, like, does not give a fuck about pride anymore.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, no,
he's so
does
humble.
exactly that. I love it so much.
Which, when you get to Arc 2 and you read Arc 2, like, seeing that so fall, like, he is so prideful at, like, when he starts out. So it's just, like, seeing that juxtaposition, you're like, how did this guy turn into this guy that I already know?
And I wouldn't even call him, like, necessarily, like, and it's not even, like, okay, it's not prideful as in, like, arrogant. It's just, like, no. I am a person of station.
Like, dignity.
Dignity, yes.
Yeah.
Because he's not arrogant.
No, it's not that kind of pride.
But it's just, like, he is a person of station. He has always been put above other people.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look down on the people below
But, like,
him,
he won't do or say certain things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now he's like, oh,
I'll
sorry,
do whatever.
I super can't get it up. Sorry, ma'am. Yeah. Have a nice day. I hope you find another client.
So, it's because of the trauma.
Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
The trauma.
But, like, with Shenlan's, when we see her, like, doing that, it did occur to me, like, every time I've watched it since I, like, found out who she was, it occurred to me, like, it's always like, haha, that's your bestie's, like, ex-girlfriend, and that's very funny. But it occurred to me today that, like, yesterday, whenever I watched that episode, it's also extremely ironic that she is trying to seduce the man that she could have been a concubine for.
Yeah, that was the thing as well.
Like, for whatever reason, that never clicked for me, but it's like, in you know, another situation, had, like, the chaos not occurred, or had Jillian not opted to be celibate to become a god, she could have easily been his concubine.
Yeah.
And it's like, And now here you are in Ghost City, a prostitute propositioning him.
Yeah.
Which is just...
how things change.
Truly wild.
Yeah.
And then we also see Shirong.
Yep.
Who is just our chaotic entity for all of the series. God, he is my most annoying
He's so
character.
funny to me. He's so funny.
He is, but like, God.
I remember...
every time he shows up, I'm just like, can I skip a few pages?
I was so pumped when he showed up in the show. I was like, I'm so ready for Chirong to be here. Because he cusses so much in the books. I was like, how are they going to do this? And they just bleeped him out. They literally bleeped him. That was the best thing ever. I'm like, oh, they're just going to make him say heck or something. But no, they literally bleeped him.
Like, no, this man gets to cuss. This man gets to fucking...
That was so funny. That was so funny. I was like laughing.
I literally shrieked out loud when I realized that's what was happening. I was like, yes! They didn't like censor the character. They just censored the show instead.
Yeah, he was like, Hwa-Chong, you bleep, bleep, bleep.
They call the Pays sluts in the English version. He's like, the Pays are sluts. These guys are like assholes. These guys do this.
And Hwa-Chong, bleep, bleep, bleep.
I'm just like, this is so good.
I was so happy to see that. And then I'm like skipping to like the end of season 2 basically, like the end of this arc, but man, seeing I was super pumped for seeing Hwa-Chong just like destroy him, because that's so one of my favorite parts of the book.
Just slams his face
like
many times.
I have that page like sticky noted in my book. I will go back and read it just for some laughs because I love it so much.
It's so good. And then like Jillian just fucking bitch slaps him.
Yeah,
I
that
don't remember if that happened in the book. I'm pretty sure it does, but like watching it in the show, it's just like, because he's just like, oh, Salman, like, no, it's okay, like, you don't have to, and then he's just like, but it's my turn now, slap.
Yeah.
Oh, Hwa-Chong is too good for this, but I can slap you all I want, and it's like, oh, Jillian, okay.
And Jillian only slaps him because he's insulting Hwa-Chong.
Yeah.
Yes. It's great.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love it so much. So
it's delicious.
Kamo is in season 1.
Yes,
he comes back.
In the dub, they do just call him Millstone, since that's what Kamo means.
He's Kamo to me.
Yeah, like that's what I've always in the there's a kind of a meet and greet thing happening near us.
Yes.
That is going to have a ton of the voices.
I'm so pumped.
From Heaven Official's Blessing that we're going to go see. And in the credits for him, it's Kimo. Even though like they call him Millstone in the dub, he credits himself as Kimo.
Good.
Another fun little detail: the guy who plays like Lan Chen-cho's servant that we
BFF.
see. Yeah, he's like little BFF back from when he was immortal, and now is like one of his deputies up at the Heaven.
What's his title? Tell us.
Lan Chen-cho's little buddy.
Little buddy. Little buddy.
Lan Chen-cho's little buddy. That's how he credits himself in this meet and greet announcement.
It's so cute because it's like they don't really have him in the book, so they just put him in the show.
They just made up a guy.
They didn't want to just label him as a name, so they just had Lan Chen-cho's little buddy.
I don't know if he's credited as that in the show.
Probably. It's
very possible.
But it's cute that that's like your official.
It was like I think it might have been Lan Chen-cho's like deputy.
Oh, okay.
In the show.
Okay. Little buddy's better.
IMDb or something like that. And that he's voiced by Drew Breedlove.
Okay.
Just since we're talking about Lan Chen-cho's little buddy. He hadn't been a whole lot of roles I knew, but he's in Blue Lock as Meguru Bachira, if
that's on the list.
That means anything to y'all. I only grabbed a couple of roles for most people, but Lan Chen-cho's little buddy.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely getting when we head there. I've got to get Lan Chen-cho's little buddy.
Yeah, that'd be super cute.
So, did you know the voice of Hwa-Chong? It's James Cheek. He's also one of the head writers for the show.
No.
Yeah. I didn't have any other
for the adaptation, or
I assume for like probably for the
American one.
Yeah,
interesting.
The English translation.
Interesting. Okay.
He's credited as head writer.
I
don't know if it's the head writer or one of the head writers, but he has that credit on IMDb.
Sorry.
Which I thought was super fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
So.
And then Howard Wong.
Yes, Howard Wong is Jillian.
Yeah,
he's our boy Longa from Skate.
Yeah.
Which was really strange when I first started season 1 because I was like, you're just Longa. You're just Longa again. But the more he gets, like, into the show, I'm like, oh, you're really... These are very different characters, actually, and you are incredibly talented.
Yeah, he's doing good. I think he does good.
Oh, he does phenomenally. It was just more of me being like, these are the same person, and these are the same character, but then it's like, oh no, you're just pretending to be chill. Oh, Manga is chill. Man just wants to be chill.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's chill on the surface.
Yeah. Let's see. Muching is Lucian Dodge, who is the voice of Mahito in Jujutsu Kaisen and Akaza in My Hero. Feng Jin is Phil Song, who didn't have any... He didn't have a whole lot of roles, so there weren't many that I, like, recognized, but, like, every time he talks, I am just like, that is the most masculine voice I've ever heard in my life. It's always extremely deep and very powerful. It's wild. You should listen to the dub at some point just to listen to Feng Jin, because it's so funny to me. It's not really a jump scare, but it's one of those where it's like, your voice is so booming. How do you do the so little? Shi Jin Chuan is the male form is Jacob Eisman, who I've heard of him. Haikyuu is Akinori Konoha. That was the role I thought would be most well known. I don't think I've made it that far in Haikyuu. And then female form is Anjali Kunapanani. I'm sure I said that incorrect. Who plays Yuki Tsukumo in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yuki.
I love Yuki. Lan Chensho is Brandon Loera, who in One Piece is Kazekage. Again,
Kazekage?
Kazekage!
In One Piece?
In One Piece. One Piece Kazekage. We already talked about Lan Chensho's little buddy. Ling Wen is Wendy Lee, who played Haruhi Suzumiya, Faye Valentine in Cowboy Bebop, and Yugito in Naruto. Pei Ming and Pei Zhu have the same voice actor.
That's really funny.
Right? Voiced by Aaron Campbell, who is Shimura in My Hero, and Bondman in Spy Family. And then a handful of other things, so those were just the only two I wrote down.
Cool.
Junwoo, who, like, first of all, let me say, played by Reagan Murdoch, fantastic job in that, like, every time he's on screen and everything he says, I'm just like, you sound very concerned, and you're very good at, like getting that just subtle needling in there, and I hate every time you're on screen, and I hate every time you talk. Mm-hmm. But also, it sounds extremely casual for anyone who doesn't know. Yeah. He does an incredible job. That's cool. Reagan Murdoch played Aki in Chainsaw Man. Chirong is Jordan Dash Cruz, who played Stark in Frieren. Yin Yu is voiced by Ryan Negron. I didn't write down a role here for some reason. I promise I only wrote down 3 more people. These were just like, I grabbed all the people who were at like the meet and greet, and then also just like roles that had occurred to me to look up while I was watching. Okay. So I didn't grab like everyone. I just grabbed like, oh, this is interesting. Yin Yu, I just said Yin Yu. Banyue is Emmy Lowe. She was Mau Mau in Apothecary Diaries, Fujisaki in Cherry Magic, and Miri in Buddy Daddies, and Suma in Demon Slayer. She's played a lot of roles I'm vaguely familiar with. A
lot of like diverse roles as well.
And then Kimo or Millstone is Ray Hurd, played Monev in Tri-Stamp, and Selkie in My Hero. And then finally, the last one I wrote down is Ming Yi, who ironically is not credited on IMDb, probably because Ming Yi has only said like 3 or 4 lines, honestly, in the show. Oh, I didn't grab Ming Yi's like female form voice, but is voiced by Chris Waycamp, who is Aizawa. He's Aizawa, yeah. Brad in Tri-Stamp, and was the assistant director of Skate the Infinity, which I didn't know. I met him to get a signing for Aizawa, and I was cosplaying for Skate, and I was like, I have an Aizawa cosplay, but some of it was busted, so I couldn't wear it. And he's like, well, Skate's pretty good too. And I was like, oh, thanks, but like I do love Aizawa, not realizing he was like, this is another connection we have. He was like really trying to throw me a bone, and I was just like, okay, nah, dude, don't even. I feel so embarrassed about that, but it doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about today. But I still look back on that in horror. Anyway, So those are all the voice actors that I grabbed.
Cool.
But I am very much looking forward to hearing more Chris Wakehamp as Mingy. I do love him.
He'll be good. He'll be good.
He'll be an incredible Mingy.
Mingy gets more time. When I think it's arc 3 or 5. It might be 3.
I always want to say it's 4, but I think it might just be that it's book 4.
Okay.
So I think that's where I'm getting my
arc 4
so
is like the second flashback.
Yeah, so I think it must be.
I think it's 3.
Because 2 is the Gela flashback.
Yes.
And then after that
3
is the autumn festival, and then which leads right into the Reverend of MP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's got to be 3.
I think it's 3.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know why we're like dancing around it as if we didn't already discuss like all the spoilers from our previous episode.
Well, this episode is about Arc 1.
It's all about Arc 1.
We can't talk about
to be fair, I did also rant about Zhu like 2 minutes ago.
It's fine.
So it's whatever.
We'll get through it. We'll talk
fine.
about it.
It's fine.
But what happens in Arc 1? Well, watch the TV show.
Look, if you haven't watched it, like go watch it. It's good. It's all on Crunchyroll. You could probably also pirate it somewhere.
It's really good and romantic. Like when the first season came out, and like the cart with the maple leaves, like
and he's in the hay.
Yeah, that was like
just
life changing.
Just so cash.
Yeah,
like,
that was great.
I know things about God.
It was so nice.
All about ghosts. Don't mind me. I'm just like a normal person named Salong, and I know everything there is to know about both gods and ghosts.
Yeah.
But I'm only a young boy. It's fine.
I feel like it came out around Valentine's Day. It was like January, February, so it was like a big deal, and it was cute. But
fucking course it did.
It's just nice of like, oh, this like Arc 1 is when they meet and they like each other. So
they start to work like well with each other.
Yeah, they're getting closer.
And everyone, God, I think one of my favorite things about their first like going into Banyue Pass, is like there's Jillian, there is Huachang in his Sanlang form. Yeah. There's the 2 idiots. Yeah. We got Fuyao and Nanfa. Yeah. And it's just
they're in disguise.
3 disguised friends.
And then when they get there, you get...
And then you get Peju, who's also disguised. And it's just Julian surrounded by disguised idiots, and he's just like, they think I don't know. Yeah. And then, like, gender bent Mingyi and she, it's just like, Xuan. He's the only one in, like, his natural form. He's just like, this is normal and good,
it's
and
funny.
I trust my friends.
Yeah.
God, the fact that, like, Mu Qing and Feng Xin think that no one would immediately clock them is so funny to me.
Okay, they are the meme, just 2 bitches telling each other exactly. And that's them.
Oh my god, you're not wrong. Except, like, with hate. Yeah. It's like, I hate you, and it's exactly... Yes. I was talking to my roommate while I had the show on, and it's like, we're in season 2. It's the part where, like, Huachang comes in to, like, kidnap Jillian. And, but, like, just before that, when they both show up to Jillian's palace, and they just start immediately punching each other in the face, and I was like, look, I love, like, they're not quite enemies to lovers, because they were sort of not really enemies, they're just, like, idiots.
Yeah, idiots to lovers.
And I was like, look, there's a lot of characters where I'm like, they're so stupid, I love them. And I'm like, no, they're just too stupid. Like, they need to learn how to have a normal, hello, how are you conversation. And once they can get through that, maybe, like, it's been 800 years.
They still don't know how
to they don't know how to have just, like, a normal-ass conversation. Yeah. They work incredibly well together. They have that moment, the butterflies come through and they, like, immediately, like, instantaneously put up the same shield. They both go to protect his highness. They work incredibly well together, but they can't just have a normal conversation. They gotta beat each other up. And I love them. And I think they would be so happy together if they could shut up for 4 minutes.
The rituals are so intricate.
So intricate. I love them. But they're so... It's not, I love them, they're so stupid. It's, I love them, but they're so stupid.
Yeah, like, that's not endearing.
They just gotta calm down. And then they show up as Fuyao and Nangfang, and I'm like, it's everyone's gonna know.
Yeah.
Because you can't rein it in.
Yeah.
But
it's so funny.
Julian he works for so long to let them keep up the charade, just so they feel better.
Oh, was I not supposed to know?
Oh, I thought we were all just pretending for fun.
Yeah. So funny.
Sweetie. Oh god.
So season 1 has the mountain, the brides, with Xuanji, and then it has the ox cart meeting, and then it has into that Banyu Pass.
Yes.
And then season 2, remind me what season 2 has.
Season 2 is we've got, that's the whole thing.
They go to heaven.
First they go go up to heaven so we can investigate like who's missing. There's like the case about Peju.
Yeah.
And then they had to go to Ghost City to investigate the missing official.
Yes, the gambler and the gambling hall. Yes.
The gambling hall.
The sexual tension.
Oh god, let me teach you how to roll dice.
I forgot about that, yeah.
The flirting over dice with Lan Zhenshou just desperately not trying to cock block, but like he is cock blocking. Bless his heart.
He really is.
He doesn't know. Sweet boy. And then the reveal of Feng Jin, the Goshi, the preceptor, which then leads to the whole thing with Qirong's cave.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
So with the Feng Jin, then we go back to heaven, and then they have like a whole interrogation, and then you have like some flashbacks, and then Hua Chong pulls up and like kidnaps him, really rescues him.
It just scoops him.
And then they go to the cave. Go to the cave, and then what happens after the cave? They just leave.
Yeah, they split, and then it ends with Zhelian down in the family.
He goes there afterwards. But one good thing, like at the end of the cave, is Hua Chong gets to show off his blood rain power.
It just absolutely drenches Feng Jin.
That made me laugh so hard in the book because it's like Xilian and I think it's just him. Or is it Qingxuan there?
Yeah, Qingxuan is there as
so
well.
they're like standing under like the cave opening, but then like Feng Jin like rushes out there, is like arguing with Hua Chong. Hua Chong just opens his umbrella, stares Feng Jin down, and like blood rain pours. And he
so sad.
Doesn't say anything.
And in the show, we've got like Hua Chong and Zhelian are like out. Like everyone's kind of out from under the cave. And he just like silently like opens his umbrella and like holds it over them, and Julian's like, "What's going on?" And Qingxuan sees the umbrella and like
he steps back
under the cave, and he's like, "Well, it's about to rain," because he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna just like take care of the stragglers in the cave. Don't even worry about it." He's like, "What's going to happen?" "Oh, it's going to rain." And Feng Jin just like stands there, glaring like. They all see the signs. They know what's gonna happen. Qingxuan takes cover, and then just douses like the whole area, especially Feng Jin, and then it's just like it stops, and Qingxuan is like, "Are you stupid?" And then comes out and like tries to like clean him off. He's like, "You're just smearing around. You're just making it worse." And they're like, "But like, it's gonna stain if I don't."
It's so funny. Hua Chong like it just says so many fuck yous like over the course of the book, and it's just funny every time.
It is.
There's one in the Blackwater arc that kills me. Funniest line in the book. I'm sure you know what it is.
Which one specifically?
Oh my god. I'm gonna give this an honorable shout out right now.
We're not in that arc, but we're
not in the arc, but it's like the best line in the whole book, I think, funny wise, where it's like they just got back from like rolling around in the coffin, and Pei Ming.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, you know, Pei Ming is like, "Oh, how'd you get the coffin to work? I thought only dead people could like make it work." And Hua Chong is like, "If you're so concerned with who's dead, I suggest you go kill yourself."
It's so rude.
He said the first "go kill yourself" joke.
Honestly, when you said that arc, my head immediately just went to when he just like slams Mingy directly into the
That's
ground.
funny
Like,
too.
makes a full crater.
That's funny too.
Because I was like, that's not a line though. That can't be what she's talking about. Just like makes him a crater because he's stressed.
Just makes him a pancake.
Just like, I'm mad. Better go slam Mingy into the dirt.
And he's entitled to do that.
He's correct. That's the correct response.
Watchon he cracks me up. There's a reason why I cosplay as him.
He's so good, is the thing, and I love him.
He's so funny, so relatable, like...
Oh, I love him.
He's great. So that's what happens in Arc 1, and all of it's really good, and a lot happens. A lot happens.
You go through so much.
And I definitely appreciate the show for, like, the pacing of it. Like, they do not rush it. They're like, we are doing 10 seasons.
Yeah, it feels like at a very comfortable pace.
It's a very good pace.
Yeah, because there's 12 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Which, and each episode's only like 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, like 6 hours.
But none of it feels rushed.
It's not
rushed. None
rushed.
of it feels glossed over.
No, it's really good.
It feels really good, and you get a chance to, like, meet each of the characters.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, if you're new to the genre, it feels... Because I tried to watch some of the early episodes with my mom, because I was like, I think you would like the story.
Yeah. It's a bit slow for them.
No, it was more just that, like, the one of the first scenes in the communication array, and it's that's General, like, Nanyang, and Zhuan
A lot of names.
Mom is like,
a lot of names.
Are there any guys in here? I'm like, all of them were guys. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's like, Ling Wen was the only speaking woman in that scene. And she's like, what? I was like, Mom! She's like, I can't tell. I was like, what do you mean you can't tell? She's like, they all look like women to me. I was like,
because of the long hair.
Because the long hair. I'm like, but they're styled so different.
It's the culture.
Like, I can't tell.
It's the culture shock.
It's like, there was so much else you should have been focusing on in that scene, other than that you just thought they were all women with masculine voices. But also, gender doesn't matter, they're gods. They can swap. Ling Wen technically is also a man sometimes. Yeah, so, like, doesn't matter. Yeah. But, yeah, no, if you're new to the genre, it can be confusing, because everyone does have, like, 3 to 4 names.
And that's the same with the Untamed, too. Watching that is confusing as well. And then you get used to it. I was so lost
for the whole
Everyone
first
is. My partner is, too, right now.
Yeah.
It's after every episode, I'm like, okay, so who did this? Who did that? Like, I'm like quizzing her. Yeah. Like, what's their name? Like,
I mean, honestly, you should have quizzed me. That would have helped. I think. It certainly would have helped me to, like, to actually learn who people's names were. And
especially, like, their titles as well. Yeah. And this kind of goes into the translation stuff, but, like, the Untamed has been on many different platforms, and like every time it's like a different translation of certain like titles and stuff, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, that's not the translation I like. Like,
that's not what they're called.
Yeah, that's not what their name is. Like, and like it happens in this show as well, in Heaven Official's Blessing too. Just because of like I originally read a certain translation, and like that's what I learned it as. So seeing it as something else really irritates me.
Yeah, I had to... This was my first... Well, it's not my first time watching the first season in the dub. I think might have been my first time watching some of the second season in dub, just because I watched them when they immediately came out initially, so before they were dubbed. Mm-hmm. Or at least it's been a while, so I forgot some of it. But, like, yeah, some of the translations were a little funky. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Chirong... he's the Night Touring Green Lantern. Yeah. That's his title. But they called him the Green Light Nightwalker.
Which is, like, wrong.
I mean, it's, like, not. Like, the Nightwalker, like, Green Light is essentially Green Lantern. Nightwalker, Night Touring. It's in essence, it's the same thing. It just sounds a little less poetic. Mm-hmm. Like, that makes sense. I understand it. They called, like Devastation instead of Supreme or Calamity. That was just like, we already have that translated. We don't have to change it and stuff like that. The 4 Devils instead of the 4 Calamities. Yeah. One thing that was weird to me was they referred to Mount. I mentioned this to you earlier. Yeah. Mount Tonglu. The first time it gets mentioned, they called it Mount Furnace,
which is wrong.
It's like they were, I guess, specifically referring to the kiln.
The kiln, within it. That makes sense.
Because they were talking about how, like, Huachong emerged from Mount Furnace, but then later they did refer to it as Mount Tonglu in, like, a different episode. Yeah. So I'm like, if you're gonna change it, like, be
consistent
about it. They called, like, Puchi Shrine, Chestnut Village and Chestnut Temple.
Yeah, they changed it.
But then later they called it Puchi Shrine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, pick one.
Don't know what's up with the translations.
Oh, and then in the communication array... Oh, I'm sorry, baby. The communication array is the telepathic matrix.
No, it's not.
And I'm like, why? Yeah. It's the communication array. It's a group chat. Besties! Yeah.
One that really bugs me is Black Waters. So I just Googled it because I'm like, what translation do they have? They have it as Blackwater submerging boats, and I hate that one. I much prefer Blackwater sinking ships.
Yeah. I was like, because I didn't even write one down for him, because they call him the Blackamoor. They just left it at that, because they barely gave him, they were like, and then there's the Blackamoor, but he keeps to himself, so we're just not going to talk about him. Anyway, next one.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear what they called them. Submerging boats?
Yeah, which is wrong.
No, give these guys the poetry and the drama they deserve, except for Chiron, because he does not deserve one.
Yeah.
He does not deserve the drama. He causes his own drama.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Yoda. Sorry, the cat has arrived and is finally
The cat is hungry.
So if you're hearing me, like, whisper,
Some
like,
bell.
sweet nothings or a bell, that's me talking to the cat. Oh, I did want to talk about one thing. I mean, it's something that has, like something I've noticed since the first time I watched and the first time I read. But, like, they make Fuyao look so fucking suspicious.
Really?
Yes! Oh my god! Okay, so, like, during Banyue, he is, like, oh no, first on, like, Mount Yujun, he is the first one to leave, to go to the heavens.
Yeah.
He leaves because he's, like, scared. We know he's scared of Hwachong, but he leaves at the sign of the silver butterflies.
Yes.
And he's like, we can't stay here, we have to go.
He's
and
like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Okay, then go to the heavens and ask for backup.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stay here and protect these people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gone. And he just, like, stays gone until, like,
it's over. Yeah.
Like, that's it. He's just gone for all of that. And then in Banyue, he gets left behind with, like, the people he's left to protect them while they go and find the Banyue Fern.
Yes.
And he is gone for most of that. He does show up once they're already down in the Sinner's Pit.
Yeah.
Goes down to join them, and he's like, oh yeah, I just, like, put them in a protection circle. So
They're fine.
They're fine. If they leave, it's on them. Which is, like, fair. But it's like, how long ago did that happen? We don't know. We just know he's here now. He blames Sanlong or Banyue for the whole time they're down there. And then, once Pei Shu finally shows up, he's just gone again.
Really?
And does not show up at all.
That's funny.
Until season 2. Like, he's just fully fucking gone.
Okay.
And it happens in the book, too, because I remember someone making a comment like, hey, where is he? And they're just like, I don't know.
They just forgot about him.
And it's like, he's just gone.
Well, I think that tracks because, like, later on, like, he is kind of, like, under investigation, so they gotta make him doubt his...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, because they you know, yeah, he goes on the run later, and then, like, but, like, through that whole thing, and then, like, I didn't care even when he was on the... Like, that truly didn't bother me, but, like, because of that, and then some, like, vague reference to something I'd seen on Twitter that I think was honestly just, like, a headcanon, probably. And then, like, another thing that I had seen a reference to a cursed shackle. So the whole time I was like, is he gonna be evil? Is he gonna be evil? I was so scared he was gonna turn out to be, like, evil. Or worse, that something had happened and he got himself put in a bad position to try to help Jillian.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, that was making demands on him that he had to keep leaving for this in order to protect him.
Yeah.
And it turns out that, no, he just, like, dipped. He just, like, left in these situations
he's just
to go
like that.
He's just like that. But, like, they made him look so sus in Arc 1.
That's true.
And I just was like, God, so upset. And I just, like, finally put all the, like, spots together. I'm like, man, this had to be on purpose.
Yeah, to make him more suspicious, yeah.
And it keeps adding up towards the end.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's also really interesting, which it took me way too long to realize how much Arc 1 also sets up Pei to show how much, or how intentionally he is losing power. Not on his behalf, but like people are causing him to lose power.
Yeah.
So early in the story.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like really interesting. Because I did not really recognize this as all being so Pei oriented until like now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we hear Chirong talking about how he is spreading rumors about Pei and trying to instigate fights between his followers and Kuan Yi-zhen's followers. We see like this whole thing about suddenly there is the reveal and people are pointing out Pei Zhu's crimes.
Yeah.
So that's suddenly happening, and now Pei is down his most trusted official.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see like the whole thing about Mount Yuzhun, where there is in Pei's territory a whole area that does not have any of his temples, and like where baby, where like Xuan was able to like set up her whole thing to like tear him down.
Yes.
And it's just like all of this stuff is very intentionally pointed towards Pei, and it's just like, but it's like, oh, this is just a one adventure, and this is an entirely separate adventure, and they're tied together because the author wants us to know Pei Zhu is the criminal here, so he was introduced in the first arc, so we'd have a familiar character. It's like, no, this was a specific target at Pei. And it's just like very interesting to see it all being nitpicked together as intentionally depowering one of the most powerful martial gods.
Yeah, definitely. And
it's so interesting.
Just like the journey of Pei Ming throughout the books is good too. Like he gets a bit of a redemption arc.
I love him so much.
Yeah, he gets humbled.
Oh yeah, and then he was the one on like head security duty when Jilian was kidnapped. Yeah, which also just drops him down in everyone's estimation.
He's so funny to me.
I love Pei Ming. He starts out as such a little like douchebag,
but he is actually really funny and supportive.
He is. Like the whole when you see the flashbacks of like him and Xuanji, and it's like he's just like, hey, did you know you're really pretty and you should smile more? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate this man forever. Actually, I think,
but not forever.
And then he was like, they stated their intentions super early on in the relationship that it was going to be casual, and then she decided she was obsessed with him, and he was like, actually, I have to leave now because this isn't what we agreed to. And I was like, okay, so he's like in the right here, actually. And then it's just like, he's a bit of a dick because like his official maybe being framed by Huachong, the Ghost King. I'm like, okay, that's a fair thing to be concerned about, to be fair. And then it's just like, okay, he's a dick, but I see why.
He's like the best of the three tumors, which is saying something.
He is. I was so sure I was gonna hate him, but then I was
no, he's the best one.
Wait a minute. I think you're my favorite.
Yeah, he's great. So glad we get him definitely
I love him.
in season 2.
Such a cool design in the show.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know I've made this like speaking of Pei and the Pei Junior, Pei Zhu. I know I've made this reference to you before, but to any of our listeners who are also familiar with Dropout, specifically with Game Changer or Make Some Noise, Pei Zhu's trial, I cannot read that scene or watch that scene without thinking that it is just the Noise Boys scene of the defendant stupidly interrupting his lawyer's closing remarks. Which, for anyone who is not familiar, simply just put that exact thing into YouTube and watch it. It's Zach Oyama, it's Brennan Lee Mulligan. It is a masterclass in comedy. It's like all of a minute, maybe. Yeah. But it's so funny, and it's exactly what Pei Zhu and Pei Ming do, where Pei Ming is like, but actually Pei Zhu might not have done it, and actually having looked into Sanlong, and actually look at the corpse, and actually I think this is a Ming, and I think this, and this, and this, and maybe my boy is, innocent, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then Pei Zhu was just like, no, I did it. Actually, I did the crime.
And he's like, shut the fuck up!
Can you calm down? I did the crime. And then, like, Pei Ming is like, no!
Shut up!
I did so much good work here! And it's just like, it's all I can think of every time I watch that scene. So please, if you want to know what that particular scene is about without watching it, A defendant stupidly interrupting his lawyer's closing remarks. Just check it out. It's so good.
It's funny. I've seen it.
It's so funny. God, it's so good. Let's see. What are some other fun little details that I noticed?
What else you got?
Oh, so did you know that there's another round of revisions being done on TGCF currently?
Oh, by MXTX?
Yeah.
She's such a perfectionist.
It's a fun scene. Most of the time it's just like little, like, we've just changed the phrasing of this scene, so it swaps just like slight little character interactions. One of my favorite, though, that I've seen is that the character Lang Yang, like the boy that they find in Mount Yujun,
mm-hmm.
who stays with Julien through like most of the series,
mm-hmm.
completely cut that character. Which like makes sense. He's kind of useless as a character until, we have that moment at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, just Lang Yang fully cut. Which I'm like, yeah, okay, I buy that. Which I thought was just an interesting little note.
It is.
Let's see. Ooh, and then in the flashback, so this is a show thing, not so much a book thing, but in the show, when we see the very first little flashback of the Gilded Banquet massacre, which is one of Julien's flashbacks, and we see him we see him draw his sword to kill the king.
Mm-hmm.
They very much are making the point in this flashback that Julien did the massacre. Yeah. We are watching him kill the king.
Like, he 100% killed people.
Yeah, so we are seeing him kill the king right there in front of us. And that's like the only thing we're seeing. We're seeing bodies on the floor, we're seeing him kill the king. But at the same time, they are giving us a huge hint that he didn't do the massacre. Because there are bodies on the ground, and he still has to unsheath his sword.
Exactly. But that's this detail that you might not catch the first time.
Exactly. And I love it. I was just like, oh, hey, you wanted to tell me this without letting me know.
Yep.
And I appreciate that. I thought that was such a good touch.
I think it's great.
Let's see. Oh, and then in the Qirong scene where we've got like Qirong cursing left and right, we've got all of his little like ghost friends like fawning after him.
Yeah.
And then we get like one of them like complaining about how Peju out there is hunting them down and like killing them still, and we just get this brief cut of Peju just like sitting by a fire poking it with a stick, and then like a ghost just, like, kills 3 of them with like
the stick,
and then he's just like back at the fire poking it, and you're just bored and need something to do, so you kill Qirong's ghost to got your way.
It's so funny.
It's just delightful. It's so funny.
Definitely also a good thing to point out about the Qirong cave scene is Guzi. Guzi is here.
I love Guzi.
Guzi's the best little kid.
He's so cute.
Like, please don't hurt my dad.
On his cute little buns.
He's so cute.
Just a cute little kid embroiled in the politics of heaven and ghosts.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about all that. I just want my dad.
I just want my dad. Please don't kill my dad.
Oh, assigned dad.
God. That kid is a miracle worker.
Yeah, he's great. And
I love him.
It just shows, like, how people will change once they've been given unconditional positive regard. Like,
yep. Yeah.
And kids are full of unconditional positive regard.
They are. And it also makes me wonder just how bad his real father was.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows.
Ooh. Because, like, in the brief, like, cave scene, his dad seems like, no, don't hurt my kid. And it's, like, this brief moment of, like, he seems like a normal-ass dad, like...
Yeah.
And then you get to, like, whatever his interactions with, like, Qirong are, and then, like, the scene towards the end and whatever, and it's just like, hey, bud, we've seen how Qirong acts.
Mm-hmm.
What was your dad like? Because
Yeah, I think,
questionable.
Like, everyone's, like... common fan theory. I don't know if this is confirmed, but it's like the dad was abusive. Like,
it probably had to be.
Yeah.
Because like he's not nice, or like Qirong isn't nice to Guzi in any regard, but he also just like mostly leaves him alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would probably have to be the case.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Can we talk about Feng Xin's fear of women?
Sure.
Because what is up with that? And why is it so extreme that Shi Chuan can't even approach him in female form?
Yeah.
Buddy, who hurt you?
I don't know what his problem is.
How is that man a father?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I don't know what his problem is.
Because he was already scared of women in the flashbacks, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure,
yeah. Like, that's been his thing.
And yet...
And I think that's why Xilian also was confused of, like, how did that happen?
Right? Buddy...
Yeah.
800 years, and you've never, like, worked on this? Or like, talked to a goddess?
Exactly.
Like, what has he done in 800 years to grow as a person? Anything?
Probably not.
Or does he just, like, stand in his palace grounds and shoot things with an arrow?
Yeah.
All 800 years.
Yeah, literally.
God, buddy boy.
I don't know.
I love him, but again, he's just so stupid. And I wish all the best for him. And future growth. Because that's all we can hope for at this point. I think one of my... Sorry, I'm just, like, looking down my, like...
No, go for it, because I don't have any notes.
I think one of my favorite things, and I actually sort of have the beginnings of a fic based on basically this whole premise.
Ooh.
But Shi Chuan, who you know I love so dearly, a lot of times they are portrayed as, like, frivolous and, like, naive and, like, just down to clown and, like, a good time, which, don't get me wrong, they are, and I love this about them. But they're also remarkably intelligent, especially in, like, a social way. Mm-hmm. They know how the game is played. They know how to rig the system. They know how to interact with, like, the gods to get them to do what they want. Mm-hmm. They know, like, the biggest example is when they and Feng Xin first find Jilian and Sanlang, and Shi Chuan's first reaction is like, all right, I'm talking to the array.
Yeah.
Hua Chang, please don't hurt anyone. Don't worry, we'll pay you back for the damages.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm casting into the array. Here's what's happening. Yeah. Oh, you have a bad thing to say? Got it. Locked into the array. End call. Mm-hmm. It's like, and like even Hua Chang like acknowledges that. Because she's like, yeah, it's like, well, obviously, if we send good things through the array, people are going to misinterpret, so we just start with the bad news. And Hua Chang's like,
okay.
You get it. You get it.
You get it.
And it's like, just the fact that they are very, like, clever in that sort of way is so, and, like, good at reading people and understanding. Yeah. Like, even very early on when they are running with Jilian through all the, like, tunnels and stuff. And
they're getting lost.
They refer to Hua Chang as your Sanlang. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that.
They be knowing.
Yeah, they be knowing. And so it's just like, I thought, like, devious little, not necessarily, like, kind of manipulative Shi Chuan. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not enough of that, I think, that I uncover. And I need to seek it out more. But just, like, because they're smart. They know people. They know how things work. They know how to pull the strings.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just deserve to be acknowledged for that more, I think.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I love that. You know I love a character like that.
Yes, for sure.
So, and I think they can be too trusting, as I think we all know.
Yeah.
But I think also they deserve to just be able to go out and, like, pull the little strings on their web to get, like, certain gods to, like, sway on a certain issue down on the mortal realm or whatever, and, like, make things happen to help. And it wouldn't even be malicious, because you know them. They'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna, like, I want to help this cause here. I need this god, and this god to help me out. And it's like, I know just how to make them do that.
I feel like them and New Hei Song would be like...
Exactly!
They'd be like best buddies running the heaven and earth.
Our green friends with fans are running heaven and earth together. Besties.
Yeah, it'd be great. They would be besties.
And they would be dressed up so nice together.
Yeah, they'd be doing drag.
They would! It looks so good. Oh my god.
There needs to be a fic about that.
Oh my god. If you find it, please share it. Okay. I'm gonna look for that too.
I cannot write it, but...
Oh no, I wouldn't be able to either.
No,
but like...
that'd be cool.
Oh my god, it's what
concept.
they deserve.
It is what they deserve.
That's the friends they both deserve.
Yeah, after the shit they've been through.
God. Just our green pretty buddies with dangerous fans.
Yes, love them. They be knowing.
With big brothers. Overprotective big brothers.
Tragic deaths.
God, they're the same person. Oh no.
You can make a lot of comparisons.
One could really... Oh boy. God. Did I miss any of my little bullet points? Yin Yu. We do get an introduction
Yin Yu,
whom I love so dearly.
Yin Yu is depression.
God, oh my god, let me see. I have a screenshot. This is from a fic. That one exceptionally long fic that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, did I save it? Please tell me I saved it. I did. Okay, so this is a screenshot from the fic, but I do feel like it just defines Yin Yu as a character. This is, like, after he's left the heavens working for Blachang. And he runs into Feng Xin. He's currently wearing... He looks like Jillian. He's wearing, like, Jillian's clothes because he's, like, working to get into the mindset of Jillian to try and track him down better. It's just a method he's working with.
Method acting.
Exactly. But he runs into Feng Xin, like, out in the world. And he's like, I don't know what to do with the situation. But it's, so it says, I'm an actor now, he blurts out, voice cracking. An actor. Feng Xin replies, slowly looking him over suspiciously. In what sort of production? Yin Yu swallows hard, clearing his throat. It's like one of those tragedies. They cast me because I'm so depressing. Oh my god, Blinks.
Believable.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Like, oh no!
That's amazing.
You can't just say that to his face, Eugene!
That's so great. Oh my god.
Oh, but I feel like it's just...
That's perfect.
Defines him so well.
Okay, while we're talking about Yin Yu and fics...
Oh, good, yes.
Honorable mention, there's this one fic, I don't know if I've told you about this one. It's like a modern AU, they're like all soccer players. Well, like Yin Yu and Chuan Yizhen are soccer players, and I'm on my Yin Yu and Chuan Yizhen agenda.
Well, as you should be, they're perfect.
But it's like just a really good fic of like how Yin Yu is like going through it, but he does not communicate at all. So Chuan Yizhen is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and Yin Yu has a bunch of resentment, you know? And something I like about his character is like how he resents Chuan Yizhen, but also like loves him at the same time.
Their relationship is so extremely complex.
It's so good.
I adore it.
I love it. But anyways, like that's a really good fic, highly recommend. But at the very end, they're like getting back together and it's like spicy times. And Yin Yu's like in his feelings, like, hold on, like if we do this, like what is it gonna mean? Like thinking about it too much. And Chuan Yizhen has like 0 brain cells, and he's like, what it always means. And Yin Yu is like, what the fuck does that mean? And then Chuan Yizhen says that I love you. It takes me out. It took Yin Yu out. Like, takes me out. Sweet. I know.
Oh, you should.
Oh, it's really good.
In the like a million word fic, it took, first of all, so fucking long, like possibly like 90k or 900k to get to like Yin Yu and Guan Yizhen like
finally
encountering each other again, and it was mostly on accident.
Oh no!
But like they finally like have this moment of like finally having sort of a conversation, and I mean it goes horribly at first, and then like kind of better as you know most of their conversations kind of go.
Yeah.
And then they do like have a kiss. And Yin Yu is like, I have so many other things on my plate. I cannot figure this out. I cannot deal with this. Like, okay, so like later then. And he's like, okay, sure, I'm probably gonna die in the next 20 minutes, but like, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure. So then they like leave the room together to go find like whatever else is going on, and they like run into another character, Ren Song, who's an OC. And they're like, he's like, oh, why is like Guan Yuzhen here? Like, why is he even here? And Guan Yuzhen just goes, we're getting married. And Yin Yu is like, we're what? And Ren Song is like, sorry, you're what? He's like, I did not say that. I didn't say that. He goes, yeah, we're getting married.
I love him so much. He is best boy. I love Chuan Yuzhen so much. Like,
he's wonderful. He's a delight.
He's great.
I also just love that he's ready to attack Pei Ming on sight.
Yeah.
At all times.
It's great.
It's so fun.
He's ready to throw hands.
Always. Just always. Even with his own followers.
Yeah. He's like, do not say shit about Yin Yu or I will fuck you up.
At all times.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just like, that's loyalty, man.
Yeah.
Like, a guy tries to kill you and you're like, no, that was my fault.
Yeah. My bad.
Somehow. I'm not sure how, but somehow.
Yeah.
Oh. Both they gotta work through like some shit, but like,
yeah, it's
once
good.
They do, they'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe in them.
They just gotta have some therapy, talk it out.
I mean, realistically, Yin Yu needs to talk it out. Guan Yuzhen's just like been here the whole time.
Yeah.
He's just like having a good time.
Yeah, it's funny.
Bless their hearts. I love this so much.
But is that it, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we got through my things. Oh,
Sounds
I did
good.
have one thought, which was just up on Mount Yuzhun when Jilian calls Ling Wen and is like, hello, I have a super quick question. Like, hey, Pei Ming, does he have any like romantic attachments to any like romances? And she's like, I need you to be a little more specific.
Yeah, it's funny.
And he's like, okay, someone with like, something with their legs or whatever. And I just have to wonder, when like that first call came in, do you think Ling Wen's reaction was like, how do I have this conversation without like absolutely ruining my boy? Or do you think she was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna gossip the hell about my BFF and ruin him for this newbie?
Definitely the second one.
She's like, oh, I'm gonna give this boy the whole lowdown on my boy's worst relationship. Like, let's go.
Well, first of all, he's a whore.
Oh, Julia, sweetie. Oh, you gotta be way more specific. My boy's a slut. Let's go.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because I just think it's like so funny because it's like, it doesn't read like, it reads, it's just like, I have many records. You're going to have to be more specific. And he's like, okay, something has happened to her legs. And she's like, yes, here's a record. Let me give you the information. But like, she's got to be like,
mentally.
Hey, what did you do?
It's funny.
She's
like, of course Bessie. This is related to him.
Like, Bessie, what did you do?
Yeah, it's funny.
Calling him up in the other line, like,
what the fuck did you do?
You're in trouble.
Yeah. It's funny.
I think that's all of my all of my bullet points that I just like thought up while I was watching.
Yeah. But it's definitely a good arc. Arc 1 is good. Definitely a good start, for sure. And you definitely get into it. Like, it gets you right into it. So
it sucks you in immediately.
Yeah, it's really good.
Excuse me.
So
it's such a good. It just sets everything up. I didn't realize like how much of it
is set up.
Yeah, it gives you all of your main villains.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is like, you assume it's like, oh, this is like my villain of the week sort of thing, but it's like, no,
they come back.
Show up at the end.
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah,
which is so rude. Like, how dare you?
The next time we'll talk about Arc 2, which is the first flashback, which is basically like the war.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily the plague. A little bit of the plague, but
it is gonna be rough.
It's a bit shorter.
I think it is.
It's good though, but definitely like y'all let us know your thoughts on Arc 1, like if we missed anything that you want us to talk about, or
please, And we'll drop those fics we talked about in the Discord. So
definitely.
The million word fic is basically an entire retelling of TGCF, and it's so good.
If you want to read that much.
so worth it.
Look, I can barely read over 50,000 words now in a fic. I'm like, I just don't have time.
I mean, that's fair, but like, if you're into that shit.
If you're into that shit, for sure.
You will be into this fic. It's so good. Oh my god. I'm still reeling from it, you guys. The lore! You get... Okay, I'm just gonna say this one last thing about this fic because it's so good. You get to see, like, Sanlang's whole thing in the kiln, how he becomes a ghost.
Oh, that's good.
But what's, like, the coolest thing is you learn why he uses the name Sanlang.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because he is the third son, not from his birth parents, although you do get to find out who his father is, his birth father, and boy, howdy did that throw me. But he meets someone in Wuyang who becomes a mother to him. And I don't know how to describe it in like that. I know that sounds like cheesy and whatever, but like it is truly so significant to his character for
family.
The entire rest of the story. And that character is now a canon character to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
She has become so significant to both Sanlang and to me as a person.
Good.
I love her.
Sounds like a good addition.
It's so good, y'all.
Good.
But yeah, anyway, I will drop that link.
Yes. Let us know what y'all think, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!